Morning. Morning. Dear Commissioners, we, Andy and Donna Amber, are fifth-generation ranching family based in Williamson County, Florence, Texas. We pay property taxes in Williamson, Burnet, Bell, Lampasas, and Mills counties. Despite what may be said, there has never been any criminal activity, contraband, stolen property, or arrest made on our property. For the sake of brevity, we will highlight only the key points, but we can provide further details and evidence as needed. On June 26, 2023, Burnet County deputies Richard Murray, Joshua Bowman entered our locked and posted private property gate. They arrived in unmarked trucks, dressed in civilian-type clothing, claiming to be looking for someone with whom we have no association and who has never been on our property. Our house is a half a mile from the gate. Deputy Murray entered our attached garage and knocked on the interior door, while the other deputy walked around behind our house. Identification was only provided when Donna demanded it. When asked how they entered our gate, they first claimed they had the code to all gates. When challenged on this, they then claimed they received the code from Williamson County. We have later confirmed that our gate code has never been in the Williamson County dispatch system. My wife called me. I was down the road baling hay for a neighbor, and I called 911. I was told there were no law enforcement officers on our property. Williamson County deputies were immediately dispatched. The Burnet County deputies quickly fled from the house, but could not exit the gate because they did not have the exit code. As I arrived on my tractor, they continued behaving in a disrespectful and eventually an intimidating and threatening manner. They never identified themselves to me. They were identified by the Williamson County deputies when they showed up. One deputy ultimately drove his truck through the brush to flee the scene. We have photos and recordings to support these events. This led to our complaint process with Burnet County. A complaint was submitted that same day online, but was denied by Chief Deputy Alan Trevino due to a clerical error. The next day we drove to Burnet. They refused to come to us to meet with Trevino. We answered all of his questions truthfully, but none of ours were answered. He made it clear that we should be cautious, as making any mistakes on the complaint form could result in our arrest. We were prepared to sign complaints, but it was suggested that we take them home for review. We have no recollection of being told of a 30-day deadline, nor is it anywhere in the complaint document or on the website. Due to the demands of our ranching work during hay season, we focused on our responsibilities. Once we were caught up, I emailed Trevino, offering to waive our right to file a complaint if the deputies apologized to my wife. Seems reasonable. Trevino's response was dismissive, essentially telling us to kick rocks. He did state in his email, of which we have a copy, that if Williamson County wanted to file charges, he would cooperate fully. That turned out to not be so. I also contacted Sheriff Boyd directly when I learned that the sheriff could accept a complaint after 30 days. The sheriff told me he would look into it and call me back. I'm still waiting a year later.
Sir,
We later had a meeting with Williamson County law enforcement, the commander, John Foster, and 3 other detectives, and were told that the chief deputy of Burnet County had falsely claimed that my wife had alleged that she was gang raped. This is an absolutely false and outrageous claim, and one that is a slander by definition. We later received confirmation that this statement was made. Burnet County has refused to cooperate with any investigation into this matter. We have filed a complaint against Alan Trevino for his false statement and have received no response. We are now being denied our rights simply for speaking out. We have submitted FOIA requests from both counties. Their statements, case numbers, body camera footage, dash camera footage, 911 recordings, and our own security camera footage to support our claims. These records clearly show that Burnet County's statements, particularly Deputy Richard Murray's statements, are riddled with falsehoods. We have made every effort to be reasonable and have the emails to prove it. Today, we are trying once more to reach a resolution with you, the Burnet County Commissioners. We are not litigious people. This is not about money. It is about honesty, integrity, and mutual respect. We have worked with law enforcement favorably in the past and have no desire for conflict. However, we are running out of options, and this issue will be resolved. Thank you for your time. We pray that you will help us find a fair and just resolution. Thank you.
And just for the record, I let them go long since they were both standing up there. So,
good morning, Commissioners.
good morning.
Members of the public. Gil Jones, applicant. I question why agenda item 18, the modification, is listed before the vote. Why do that? Failure to pick a judge is embarrassing the county. Many citizens are upset, as you've heard, and I wish you well in moving this forward. I appreciate your work, and I think I appreciate something of the position that you're in. What would be gained by modifying the process? More applicants, or none of us qualified? There is no process that will alleviate you from having to ultimately take a vote. You've heard some devastating information this morning about Alan Trevino, his lack of professionalism, bullying, and all of this from people who have absolutely no axe to grind. Andy and Donna Amburn are victims. There were already two reasons not to appoint Chief Trevino. One is that he's running, and that's unfair. As reported in the May 2015 Daily Tribune, when you appointed me as Justice of the Peace, members of this court were quoted as saying, "You picked me because you wanted someone who was not going to run for the office." Another situation with Alan Trevino is that he will be unable to avoid at least an unconscious bias in favor of the Sheriff's Office budget. That budget is already 40% of the county's budget. And now you have a third reason, one sufficient to call for him to withdraw his application from consideration. His boss, Sheriff Boyd, should encourage him to drop out while those serious allegations made by the Amburns are investigated. And investigated they must be. And we also have to wonder why Sheriff Boyd, who has the power to accept that complaint even after the 30-day period, it's in their written policy, and who told Andy he would look into it and call him back, still has Andy waiting for that call. Is it because he doesn't want to investigate his chief deputy? Most importantly for you in this moment, a little later down the docket, you have options. You don't need to change the process. You have two remaining totally qualified applicants. And if you aren't crazy about me, here's Brian Wilson. He may be the most qualified of all three of us. He's a fine gentleman with deep county experience. People want you to get this over with. I hope you find a way to do it, and God bless your endeavors.